Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Rochester Downtown Development Authority meeting for Wednesday, May 15, 2024. Madam Recording Secretary, the roll, please.
Bob DiTomaso, Tony LaPuma.
Here.
Tanya Karsten. Paul Haig.
Here.
Eric Diana.
Here.
Roger Knapp.
Yes.
Lisa Germani Williams.
Here.
Bob Bloomingdale. Mayor Bixon.
Here.
Chairman Giovanelli.
Here.
Marilyn Trent.
Here.
Don Sinkowitz.
Here.
Christy Trevorrow.
Here.
There is a quorum.
Fantastic. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for giving us some of your evening in this beautiful evening. It's quite lovely outside. Just a quick heads up, there's no internet in council chambers right now, so we're kind of winging it. Downside is my entire packet is on my laptop, and I left my phone at home, and there's no internet here. So, and I do not have a printed copy, which I never have had in years. So,
Can't bend my.
no.
No, you're fine. I can.
Okay, it's fine. Well, wait, I got the agenda. I got this much done, so we're good. I'm not like totally flying blind. Anyway, so if we stumble a bit, just know it's technology related, and it just goes to show you that I can't teach an old dog new tricks. First on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes for April 17, 2024. Any questions or a motion to?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Haig.
I'll second that.
Support by LaPuma. All in favor of approving the motions from the April 17th?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Audience comments?
Tanya just texted. She's almost here.
Oh, good. Good. That was our audience comment.
There it is.
Excellent. All right. Liaison reports. City Council, the Honorable Marilyn Trent. Good evening.
Good evening. Everybody is having a lovely evening. For April 22nd, there's two council meetings that I will be reporting on. First one is April 22nd. There was a presentation of a city resolution recognizing the accomplishments of the 2023 and 2024 Oakland University basketball team. They've done well.
They did.
Maggie Bobbitz, Executive Director of the Rochester Regional Commerce, gave us an update on the Memorial Day Parade on May 27th. So I hope everyone can join us. It begins at 8 a.m. at Avon Cemetery, and there'll be a couple of speeches, and it ends at the Veteran Point on Livernois and Avon. So it's about 8 to 11:30. You can come to one or come to both. And we've got so far 17 people, or bands,
17 groups.
groups, sorry, thanks. Yes, 17 groups marching in the band. In the parade, thanks. Yeah. It's been a long day.
It's a team effort.
It really has. Christy Trevorrow and Ben Giovanelli gave an update on the Gram, and they answered any questions that anyone had. There was a budget update as well, and a PSD budget update. Then there was City Bridge public hearing. Oh, we set a public hearing for the city budget for May 13th, and outdoor dining was approved for the downtown Rochester. So May 13th, that was just a couple of days ago, the recognition of the state cheerleading champions. Stony Creek Cougars cheer team started out with a bang. And then we had a PSD presentation from Christy Trevorrow about the tax increase, and there was a robust discussion about that. It was approved for the next fiscal year, and then we'll review it the following year, 2026 or 25?
It'll be fiscal year 26 budget.
Okay, fiscal year 26. Thanks, guys. And then there was a public hearing set for June 24th for short-term rentals and the 704 Woodward Paint Creek Townhomes development. That's going to be
Solaronics.
Oh, also known as Solaronics.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah,
So
come
that's,
one, come all.
That's alive. Excellent.
It will be a good long meeting.
That's fantastic. Well, thank
With
you.
a lot of community input, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Any questions for our council liaison? Thank you for your report. Seeing no questions, we shall march forward. Chamber of Commerce, Bob DiTomaso is on a plane at the moment, I believe.
He's driving.
Driving, okay.
Yes.
Well, anyway, he's not here. He's headed to a wedding. So we will, I think that we'll have to just defer the Chamber of Commerce till next time. So it just is what it is. Historical Commission, Mr. Sinkowitz, good evening.
Good evening. No need to remind everybody, in a week and a half is the Heritage Days. Festival starts on Saturday from 11 to 6 on Saturday and 11 to 5 on Sunday. If you go on the internet or the website, rochesterheritagedays.org, you'll find all the entertainers, the entertainment, and the schedule for entertainment on Saturday and Sunday. This year, we've incorporated the bagpiper into the program, so she'll participate with the 10th Michigan Infantry on Sunday, participating in the memorial service that they hold, and she'll also play on Saturday at the band shell. The website also includes the vendors for the art show. We have 25 vendors signed up this year so far. We're anticipating a few more next week as we get closer. Good thing, 9 food trucks. That was an issue last year. We had food trucks, but some of the food trucks did not have electrical capability, so we had to supply them with external power. This year, we made a stipulation that all the food trucks have to have their own electrical supply, so we won't need the big MAD unit that we anticipated last year. We have a list of all the sponsors, the nonprofits, the Pioneer Playground, the plant sales from the Oakland Township Historical Commission. So we're anticipating, the participation looks very, very good for the festival, and we're just hoping that the weather holds out as it has for the last 2 years. Knock on wood, we have good weather. So.
You'll be lucky.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Any questions for our Historical Commission liaison? Seeing none, we shall march forward. Thank you for your report. Principal Shopping District, Mr. Haig.
All right. Well, the big thing was that it got passed for 1 year on last Monday night, and that was good. And then, Nick, would you like to give us an update on opens and closings?
Not tonight.
Let's put it this way.
That's business development, but I would rather do that all of them.
That's fine, that's fine. Okay. Anything else?
Just that all these summer events have been forwarded to Chief George, and if they haven't already, they'll be in front of council for everything through Dancing in the Street, Sidewalk, movies, makers, all those good things. So we're
Gotcha.
good through the summer.
All right, awesome.
And
So-
I'm looking forward to Chris Kringle Market actually expanding. It would be great, because we've had so many requests for that, so.
Awesome. Things are always cooking in town, as we all know, so thank you for that report. We appreciate it. On to general business agenda, flying right through the meeting. Market, Graham update, me. Okay, so sort of a quick recap of the happenings over the course of the last several weeks. We have been working with the architects. All the drawings have been submitted to Vidya, I'm pretty sure. There was one document that they had requested that would be executed, and I signed it tonight. It was
I
just.
handed it to Nick,
Oh.
he handed it to Jeremy.
All right, so Jeremy's got it, so that was the last piece. So I think, from what I understand, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, but Vidya's got everything she needs, so that's good. We got back, and I wanted to kind of run through this with you guys. So we got back the survey, and I don't know, again, if I can make this bigger. Oh, wait, here, ooh, look at that. Will it work?
Oh, that little slide, or should at least.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, not that big. That works. Yeah, right. There we go. Okay, so this is the parcel. Here's the building here. So if you recall, there was some conversation as to lot lines and Scrivener's errors and all these things. So our attorney's been working super hard he actually took me through sort of the history until like 1964 when some Third Street Urban Renewal Plat. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Anyway, we got the survey back, and these are the property lines. There was some concern that, and this is the parking lot, the tax rolls, and we'll look at that in a second, have the tax line going right down the middle of the parking lot, meaning that the spots on this side were owned by Mitzelfeld and Huntington Bank, but that's not the case. It goes right to the brick wall that's there, as we had suspected, so that was great news. So at the end of the day, super confident in the property lines as represented by the seller and as proven out by our own separate survey company, so this will be included along with the packet that, of course, goes to planning. The one thing, Chris, you said you put that down here?
Yep.
Gotcha. All right, so this is the legal. So this is, Jeff was referring to this as the legal. So legal description is really what matters, that's what we're buying. But the tax legal is this guy here, and it was an interesting exercise, so bear with me. Uh-oh.
There it goes.
Okay.
It's
All right,
running off the
I gotta
hotspot. It's
do a lot
taking a
of
minute.
zoomies here, so hold on a second. So this is the county website, GIS. As we drive through town. Whoopsie. Okay, more aerial imagery. Okay. All right, Jeff walked me through this tonight. Tax parcel line. Okay, so, let me click on this to make that go away. Oops, shoot. So this is everything in the district parcel-wise. So the reason why I wanted to walk through this is that early on, we had talked about this discrepancy. So this is the tax line. So Jeff, our council is going to work with the city attorney and with the county to try and figure out why. He said typically they're not usually this far off, and he's not sure what the deal here is here. He thinks this line here is just whoever the programmer was flipped the angle. So he thinks it's just an input error, because if you look at it, if that line was flipped, it would be different. So we're trying to get this sorted. Like I said, the legal is all that matters. So per the legal, we're getting everything that we said that we were getting to purchase. So this is more clean up on aisle 13 issues, but I'm just trying to keep you guys sort of apprised. So we're working, trying to get that sorted. The one thing I thought was interesting, though, is that if you look at the way this is set up, apparently the DDA owns half the fire department. So I'm guessing that there's,
That's true.
well, I mean, it goes all the way into the building. I thought it was just like into the parking lot. So I guess this is just going to be our opportunity to kind of go back and clean this up and make sure there's, everything is correct, right? So, that notwithstanding, I just wanted to report out that, we received the survey back. It's exactly what we thought it was going to be. We have this issue, which our council is working with city attorney and the county on. He's not worried about it at all. It's just sort of, clean up, as I'd said. But if you look at the sort of the bigger picture, it's just interesting that that parcel 015 goes all the way into the middle of the meeting room at the fire department. So. I'm sorry, one second. Eric first, and then Roger.
This won't in any way impact or delay the bank
No.
Okay.
Yeah, well, like I said, the legal is all that matters. The tax legal, the only reason this matters is for who pays taxes on what. And the reason why this is important for the city is that there's a certain amount that's going to come off the rolls with this, which we had forecast, I think it was 12 grand or something like that a year. Is going to come off. So we're just kind of going through. Once again, this is housekeeping, but it's going to come up, it's going to come out, and I wanted to get out in front of it so that way there's not, there's no confusion as to what the situation is. So the two parcels on the top are already off the rolls. That's the GDA parking lot, and then, of course, the fire station, which we don't send a property tax bill to the fire station, at least yet. I mean, that may happen soon, right? So this is the only sort of thing. So when I talk about the deal, as we started getting into it, there was some hair, and the hair is going away. We're getting more and more less hair, I guess, if that makes sense. Roger, you had a question?
There's gotta be something else, because I wasn't a part of that when that was happening. I found that parcel because one of my tenants owned it. It was a factory before it was there, and I know where that was, and that isn't where that line, there was nothing going through the middle of that building.
Yeah.
It was a totally separate parcel.
Yeah, like I said, that's what county's got. It could be, Jeff said, it also could be the way that, he's trying to explain to me, so the curvature of, yes, the earth is round. So the curvature of the earth and the way that the satellite is looking at the picture could have something to do with it as well. So once again, there's not there's no concern here really, but there is a discrepancy. We need to get it sorted. So the legal is all that we care about. And the two parcels it's not going to impact our project at all.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, no worries. But to your point, Roger, the thing that Jeff had pointed out that he's got some inquiry on is that there's back in 1964, which is the year that I was born, this East 3rd Street urban renewal plat was laid out, and it talks precisely to what you're talking about as to how they were going to carve that out. This is before Rochester was even a city. It was still a village at the time. So there's, stuff there. None of it's going to really impact our transaction and our work, but it's going to come up, it's going to be discussed, it's going to be out there. So my position has always been, let's just, this is really what's going on, so that way everybody's on the same page. So good news is this isn't going to impact our deal at all. Bank will be fine. We just got this back on Monday, I think, so we're waiting on this, and then we're waiting on environmental and the topo. This is the topo. The environmental, I think Jeff said end of the week, hopefully. And then we're going to name the bank on that as well. The bank has got everything they need from us. So really, it's just, everything is in motion. There's nothing really to report out with respect to, things that have popped up. They're going to clear the deal. It doesn't happen. It's so far, things are going well. So we'll pray that it stays that way.
Mr. Chair. And then they came and did the inspection today of the building at 11:30.
Yeah, so the appraiser came today?
Appraiser
Okay,
came
that's
today.
right, yeah, the appraisal
Yep.
came today, that's right, I forgot, I thought that was tomorrow, but that's today, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so, behind the scenes, all this stuff's going on, so we're trying to get after it. Nick, just to remind me and everybody else, so Vidia's got what she needs, it'll go before planning for their June meeting, and then come back their July meeting?
Everything goes right, yeah.
Okay, all right, so that's kind of the schedule that we're working on right now. So hopefully, environmental comes back and there's no other hairy issues. We should, knock on wood, sometime, first, second week of June be pretty clear. The only thing we're waiting on is planning, so that'll be the last piece. And then once planning's done, then we're off to the races, as the kids say. So, yes, sir.
One more, we have a permission now to paint the back of Huntington Bank. So that's gonna make a nice
It's on our
visual.
list of things, yes.
Yes.
That'd be good.
I'm sure there'll be some sort of committee involved as to what
Oh, of course.
constitutes art.
I've got my few little updates here, so.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. All right, so I was just going to say, Chrissy, we're going to kind of tag team this one.
Yes.
So in along with the same thing, Chrissy's got some news on the Main Street County update, plus some other stuff that she's been working on too.
Yes, so just circling back to the mural, so Huntington Bank is just a tenant. The property is owned by Brad Mitzelfeld, and so Brad reached out to us, he's talked to his tenant, and they are very open to allowing us to put a mural on the back of the building. But of course, the magic question was, what does it look like? I said, I don't know, because all we have is an artist rendering. So actually, Taylor is here representing the Local Art Committee, and so I figured if we were going to talk about it a little bit tonight, maybe we do it under that agenda item, because that might be the natural place that it might go to live, but that could be depending on what we want to do, since we were thinking of doing the parking lot stuff next year, it's focusing on the Graham this year. That's something that doesn't interfere with
Yeah,
anything,
right.
and we could maybe get it done this year. So maybe we can talk about that when we get to art. But the other interesting thing that happened at 4:51 on Friday, we got, Marcy at the city got a call from Congressman James's office to say, hey, we know you submitted to put the market and the Graham in for a grant, and we weren't going to include it in our request for federal appropriation, but guess what? We have another spot available, so we'd like to put the Marketplace, sorry about that. 7 years, what can I say? Marketplace, the Graham in, but we need all these things within the next 2 hours. So that was super fun. So Marcy and Anthony and Nick and I scrambled, because they already had the application and all the things, but because they hadn't planned to put us up, there were other just basic informational things that they needed to have. So long story short, we had everything to them before 7 p.m., so now we will be in the federal appropriation requests. Doesn't mean anything. We were in the list last time, and of the 13 projects, we were the only one that was not successfully funded. And all of those that were put up only got a percentage of the funding that was requested too. So we asked for $1 million. Who knows? But doesn't hurt. You don't ask, you don't know. So it's in there. It's not even officially up on his website yet with his list, but that should be forthcoming, because he has to legally put that up and say that he has no connections to the projects that are listed, blah, blah, blah. So last time, it was an end of summer deadline. I think that's exactly what's going to happen, and I know they mentioned at State of the City that a couple of his representatives will be there, so Marcy and I will make sure that we inquire as to when we might find out some information on that. But doesn't hurt to try. So we've got that one going on. But back to Oakland County, on the agenda, I said, hopefully we'll have the interlocal agreement, but we're not quite there yet because Oakland County instead gave us 6 pages of an application that they like us to fill out, that we've already filled out, but now that was for the MEDC grant. We have to take that same information, obviously we're updating ours to Market Plus the Graham, and switch it into this new format to submit. We have basically everything that they need. The only thing I'm missing is the documents that were sent to Planning Commission. I need them in a digestible, PDF-able form, so AKA is working on that for us. And then the only other change that I saw in the agreement that they sent is before we thought we had until end of fiscal, or until end of '26 to complete the project, because that's when the ARPA funds expire. The county's budget starts again October 1. So according to this application, money's supposed to be extended by September 30th of '26, because that's how the county has budgeted them in. I don't think that's going to affect us, but just, that's the only thing that was different from what I saw. So all of this has to be turned into the county by the 24th of this month, which will be no problem because it's literally just a lot of cutting and pasting of things. But once those all go in, then I believe the interlocal agreement will be here in June, because they had originally told us they needed that signed off by the end of June. And that's both by us and city council. But I haven't seen anything yet. But I think these have to go in first. So be prepared for, there might be a quick scramble to get a few things signed, but that's where we're at.
So, all right, so to translate, this does not in any way, shape, or form change the, it's just paperwork.
Paperwork. It's literally paperwork.
Okay, good. So there's that. So we'll go ahead and get that in. We've got, obviously, to your point, plenty of time to get it in, so you guys will probably bang through it this
We're good.
week.
Yeah.
And then, in terms of the interlocal agreement, probably it would go, they need it by the end of June, you said?
That was what they had originally said. I mean, obviously, they can move any deadlines they want, but their target originally was to have everything done by the end of June. These being due the 24th, I don't know that they're going to get through all theirs to get interlocal. But when they come, as soon as they get here, I'll get them to, because we don't have to do ours and then councils, they can happen concurrently. So as soon as they're in my
Gotcha.
hands, I'll get them where they need to go. But those need to be signed before we can accept the money.
Gotcha, yeah, so, I'll get you in 1 second. So, just for planning purposes, let's just say that if it comes from the county, we'll have it on the agenda for our June meeting, and then council will get it their second meeting in June.
Yeah, so as soon as it gets here,
Assuming that, yeah.
I'll send it to Nick for council, and I'll have ours on our
And
next
if it comes
agenda.
like in a weird time frame, then I'll just call a special meeting and we'll flip
Yeah.
the council for.
I'm
first
hoping,
and
I think because there's 13 communities, everyone's going to have different deadlines, so different boards when they meet and everything,
gotcha.
so I think they'll give us a little wiggle room. So we'll see. But to be continued, but I was hoping to have it by now because that was their original intent, but obviously they are not there yet.
They control the pot of money, so we'll just do whatever it takes to get at it. So,
That's correct.
Councilperson Trent.
Yes, did they land on a final amount yet? or
They have
is
not
it-
yet. Once we turned all of our things in, but Ben already did the budget piece. So when the interlocal comes, that will have the final amount. Because that's sort of the last moment that a community can be in or out, and so that's what they're trying to figure out. There is this extra $1 million in play that they were deciding whether or not they're going to take it and split it up amongst the 13 projects that have already been approved, or if they would take that $1 million and throw it back into the pot for other communities that didn't participate in the original round to possibly have some things. That's up to the commissioners, not Oakland County, not Main Street, so, but when the interlocal agreement comes, my understanding is it will have a number on it, and we'll also have the disbursement schedule, so we'll know when we're gonna be receiving it. But the last round, we had heard that it was 60 up front and 40 on the back end, so.
So the total
percent.
amount is.
We don't know yet. What we had asked for, it was 925, it was the last number we saw. Yeah, but, yeah,
It could change.
it could poof up a little bit, we're hoping, but we don't know.
It won't go down.
It won't go down, no, it won't, no, it won't go down.
We don't know, but we don't want it to go down. Let's just say it
Trying to
that way.
get the facts.
Yeah, but no,
no.
the last number we saw was 925, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So fingers crossed we get that through, but until we're signing agreements, that, right? So,
Right.
Exactly right.
and everything is predicated upon that as well, so of course. Okay, so really, since we're still talking about it, Taylor, why don't you, we'll transition to you since you're next on the agenda for the art, the community art.
All right, I just need to steal the keyboard and the mouse back.
Oh, sure, sorry. Yeah. And then we'll just kind of do a group question after all that, because that's all sort of related. Ish.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gracias.
You.
Am I up here, Christie?
You are, go down.
Oh, wow, this is really smooth paper.
I know.
Here we are.
This is like good paper.
I think mine's upside down.
It's like it's artsy.
Yeah,
Okay, I keep getting this paper on sale and everybody thinks it's the nicest paper.
it's like
So I keep
glossy.
buying it because it's on sale.
Oh, don't look too far ahead, but I've got bombs to drop along the way, guys.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just hit present and you're good to go.
My eyes from afar. It's like I'm getting old. Okay, well, thanks everyone for having me here today. We've been working on a couple of things, so Christy thought it would be just a great idea to come chat with all of you about what we've got cooking up. First and foremost, I wanted to just let everyone know, so the DIA has invited us back to be a community partner this year. Yay, I'm seeing some claps. They had reached out back in November to be a community partner for this year. We did a site tour at that time, and so they're in the middle of installing 10 different fabrications throughout town for them to be on display now through the end of October. There's one of our new ones at the back of the terrace at the Royal Park. These are our 10 different works that will be on display in our 2 different pocket parks along Walnut. We have one over here at the duck pond in the park, Royal Park Library, and through a handful of different businesses in town. We have everything from Monet to a local Detroit photographer, Russ Marshall. So I think there's quite a bit of diversity represented in our 10 different features. As our community manager noted on our site tour, Rochester is very walkable, so she really encouraged us to sign up for their facilitated walking tours. They apparently have a lot of volunteers that engage through the DIA that are local and would love to educate our community on the different art pieces. So we are in the process of signing up for that. I don't have dates and times, but when those details get more solidified, I'm happy to share. For anyone that would like to attend. But in addition to us having 10 works, I believe the OPC is another partner this year with one piece on their property, as well as the Friends of the Pink Creek Trail. They have 4 different works. So some nice synergy in terms of the Inside Out program that we've had before and we're having again this year. Moving on to our next kind of piece of exciting news. Before I really dig into it, I do want to just lay a little groundwork for how we may have gotten here. So as a fun reminder, back last year as we were kind of at Goals and Objectives, we had discussed the idea of art being a new mission of the DDA. This had come out of a lot of the existing programming that you might see on our event calendar, events such as Deck Art that just concluded, Magical Mural Tour, Snowman Stroll, so lots of different art that we're already engaging in amongst the community, but the conversation was, where do we go from here, how do we expand upon it and have it better represented in our town? And so at that time, we formed our committee, our small but mighty committee of different friends and volunteers that we know throughout the community. Just to highlight everyone, so we have up top Amber Hall, who's she our longest standing promotions committee member now?
She's been on
possibly?
the promotions committee for 25 years.
For anyone that might not.
We love Amber.
Yeah. Amber is not an artist in a traditional sense by any means, but is very creative, whether she's building beautiful 9-foot Christmas trees at that time of year or whipping something up for deck art for us or just anything in between. She really has a vision and can kind of see it and go for it. So she's a great asset to us and works locally in town, so she talks to all the people and what they want to see. She's always not shy to tell us. But Amber is also her best asset is she'll help us during deck art drop off or when all the 300 and something artists drop off their deck art pieces. Christy's running around crazy. Jenna can't get it, she's just overwhelmed. I'm babbling for days on end trying to explain everything that everyone needs to know. And Amber is there smiling and complimenting every deck imaginable and asking them detailed questions. So Amber has a way of making people feel special that we are just very glad to always have her on board and, bringing the charm to everything that we do. Of course, we would be remiss if we didn't ask Mr. Sean Hayes, the director of Pink Creek Center for the Arts, to join us. Sean's got a great, I guess, business sense behind, what Pink Creek's doing and bringing that conversation to the forefront. Many of us know Sue Keels, who previously was with the Royal Park Hotel, but has since moved on to her consulting business, Keels Collab. For anyone that doesn't know, Sue also, kind of in her spare time side hustle, has created Sue K Studio, which is her artisan business. So she contributes a lot to just the understanding of starting these small artisan businesses and trying to grow them. She's making the craft market circuit now, so really appreciate kind of that understanding amongst a lot of these artists that we work with. Shelly pops in now. Lennon from Paint a Miracle. Shelly's always a delight, and her Paint a Miracle educators are a great asset to us. When they come in to judge deck art, really, I don't know little about art, but they always teach me a little something. Of course, Tekla Rhodes. For anyone that doesn't know Tekla, her previous life was a very successful career at the GM Design Center, but now is a board member to Pink Creek, Meadowbrook Hall, and lots of other art-based organizations. So she knows it from the business side to just the true creatives. Of course, myself and Jenna on the DDA staff. But we spent a lot of time just discussing what makes sense for Rochester, what kinds of projects we'd like to see, and where are the points in our community that would be most impactful to see different art projects. So we discussed everything from maybe being an asset to put on networking events for artists, to growing our professional artist database, and everything in between. So lots of discussions were had about just ultimately what we want to see and what we can accomplish. One that was heavily discussed and something that we actually had seen prior to the creation of our committee is what we like to call crosswalk art projects. So this photo actually Christy took when we attended our Main Street Now conference in Seattle back in 2019. We headed out to like a little neighborhood, like outside of downtown Seattle, and just kind of came upon these crosswalks essentially that had these different installations in them, which were like a little excite, a little delight as you're in this funky neighborhood outside of Seattle. So we just put it in the Rolodex of ideas and hopefully use it for a later date. At the end of last year, segueing to, Oakland County Main Street had put out a call for a placemaking grant. They had partnered with Flagstar Bank, and they were offering a $2,500 matching grant fund. And so I don't know how it kind of push comes to shove, but I submitted for the idea of doing a crosswalk art mural project, and to our delight, we were one of the recipients. So that was my
I
first...
know this is Taylor's first grant application she ever wrote, and she got it, so.
One for one, excellent.
One for one.
I will take it. Might never do it again. No.
Get $1 million, no.
But exciting just to kind of, give cause to a project that we wanted to see happen and now are more able to execute. We spent a lot of time just discussing the different logistics since receiving that grant in terms of, how we wanted to spin this wheel of options in terms of, who we were engaging for this project, what materials we were using, when we wanted to do it. And so there's been a lot of kind of push and pull to that conversation, but ultimately we now have a plan. When submitting the grant proposal, and something that we discussed with the committee, was for the location of the crosswalks at West 4th and Walnut. So being that it's a placemaking grant, the thought process behind this particular intersection was to kind of engage community members to maybe, pull themselves a block outside of Maine. We have, a lot of new businesses in this corridor, the Roxy, Corner Bar, St. 1881. So bringing some vibrancy to this end of town, attracting people to an area that maybe they're not normally traveling to. Additionally, we do a lot of programming on West 4th Street, so just a little extra something to kind of excite that area once again. Obviously, you're seeing the overhead site and then the street view as well. But with our grant money in hand and location decided on, I bring to you our artist that will be working with us to create our crosswalk project. This is Rhiannon Sibold. Rhiannon hails from Greenville, Michigan, so more on the west side. She has a pretty extensive portfolio with lots of different projects on that side of town. A couple points that brought us to Rhiannon is her portfolio is kind of deep of projects that are similar in scope to ours. She really understands like working on streetscapes, the durability needed for that. You know, it takes a certain person to want to work under the hot sun on a hot pavement, so she understands that immensely. And we felt confident from just that previous portfolio work that she would be the girl for our job, in addition to her very vibrant artist expression, I would say. These are some examples of Rhiannon's work. So that is you can't really tell from this vantage point, but that is a 33,000 square foot play court that is just on one side of the Grand Rapids River in downtown Grand Rapids. So really a massive art installation there, down to something a little smaller and detailed, with such as the pieces on the right, which were on sidewalks in another neighborhood of Grand Rapids. So kind of just seeing the scope of work that she's able to offer. A lot of the discussion with these crosswalks is, aside from a beautiful drone shot or overhead from the west parking deck, people might not be able to fully appreciate the series of 4 that she'll be installing. So, you know, these murals aren't maybe storytelling in terms of the kind of art that we'll be doing, but they'll be bold, blocked colors, very vibrant and visual. These are just ideas or concepts that she's discussing with us in terms of the kind of look that we're going for. So hopefully it'll be very exciting for people to cross the street as they make their way around town at this intersection. Rhiannon will be working with us June 17th through the 21st to do this installation. She's currently working on renderings, our final renderings for ideas for us to, that will be our final look for our crosswalk art. We are happy to share those via email, but we want to keep them tucked away and exciting for the public to see, because we'll be unveiling our crosswalk project on Saturday, June 22nd, in conjunction with our Makers Market event. For anyone that's not familiar, Makers Market was started last year. It was started with this mission that we wanted to give a platform to artists and creators to come to our community, sell their works of art, educate the community on what they have to offer. And so we feel like with this new crosswalk project, it's kind of an extension of that mission. So almost making the crosswalks an additional attraction to the event. We'll be extending out past the 4 crosswalks for the event, surrounding the area with a couple food trucks. Our musical acts will be in the center. And then Jenna had the great idea of doing a kids craft. We'll encourage friends and kids and families to come up. They'll decorate a 2x2 tile. We'll collect their information, take their tile once they're done, and then we'll be installing them on our magical mural plywood pieces, and making them into one large mural installation for the magical mural tour in September. So an additional reason to come back to town and find their work of art.
For sure. Hold on one second, Taylor. Mr. Mayor.
Well, I was just going to bring up, I think that this board and the city council needs to approve before it's put on the street.
Yeah, we certainly can send that once made available.
We don't have it yet.
Well, no, I understand,
Yeah.
but, I mean, you made it sound like it was done and you were just going to kind of let us know, where I think it has to be approved up here and on the city council.
Yeah, so, and it's, yeah, of course, right? So the big thing is, of course, we want to do this and walk the walk and do everything we said to with respect to art, and it's a fantastic project. But also, too, we got to deal with traffic and road stuff and just sort of life that's going to be going on around that.
Yes.
So that way, everybody's sort of, on the same page as to what, the design looks like. I don't, I've seen these kind of go where it just ends up just, everybody's got different ideas, so we want to try and narrow that one down. So
Yeah.
if you could, and I'm sure you'll probably get to it, and it's like always go to the end page of the proposal,
No,
right?
that's
But,
all right.
have like a couple, 2, 3 different sort of options of what you can look at. So we sort of narrow down the scope, bring it back before here, and then we'll flip it to council. But yeah, we're gonna have to work with PD on traffic stuff. I mean, all the stuff that you can immediately think of, so.
I have initiated some communications with our department heads, so Chief George, Cecilic, Nick, and Public Works as well. So they're aware of the installation plan at this time. Not having that rendering piece at this moment just kind of puts a stop to the chain of command that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But we are supposed to receive a couple different options with the options to make modifications to. So we certainly can keep that ball rolling.
Yeah, so when is she gonna flip you the,
The projected date was, I think, this week or early next. So
okay,
very
so you guys will
shortly.
have it for your first meeting, too. Or I don't know if we'll have it in time,
Well, I think this board should
yeah.
weigh in too. We've got, in these partisan times, we also need to make very sure that it's not anything political.
No, and I
Right, and I'm sure that you understand that. I just want to make sure that.
100% do. I guess that's a little bit speaking to the mood board where, really we're not going to accomplish anything of much
I don't know, I'm
depth.
seeing rainbow colors on here, I think it's really political now. That's totally sarcasm, by the way, like total sarcasm.
Some of the conversation, I had with the artist was understanding Rochester as a community, some of the nature elements that we appreciate, our trails, our waterways. So, maybe making a little reference to those of notes. So I hope that wouldn't cause any controversy, but can understand at least wanting to approve what would be on the street. So just to paint a picture for what the conversation is.
So if you guys get it back, I'm not opposed to calling special meetings. It sounds like we need.
I think we'd have to, just timing wise, to get to council too, because the volunteers that is trying to line up are working it takes a week to get it all down, because volunteers are gonna be helping to
Oh,
paint it.
gotcha. Okay, so the installation's quick. It's just the approval process that,
That is long.
yeah, right? 100%.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, let's just get it back and we'll see how that goes and take it. So we didn't mean to get out in front of, but it's just kind of like, we want to make sure that we're looking at the old 360-degree walk around. And
Yeah.
we have a lot of people to make happy, which is almost impossible. So.
Completely respectable. There was a couple kind of factors at play that tripped us up timeline-wise, so we're happy to make everyone aware, of what we'll be looking at, so there's no surprises there.
Okay, good.
So we can accommodate that, certainly. Just, this was our projected, hoped execution of our installation, especially just because we want the community, if approved, to appreciate it for the summer season.
Oh, 100%.
Get it out there and rolling in excitement in conjunction, so, yeah, that's.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
so
I was nearing the end, so
Okay.
you're
I wasn't
welcomed.
trying to hit the fast forward button, but you
but,
guys, Christie's the queen at that, so it's like.
So you're gonna put it in June 22nd? Is that what you're saying?
The installation is projected just that week prior, so whether it,
It'd be starting the 17th, that
17th.
Monday.
So what I'm gonna suggest is that get it, and let's take a look at it. You've kind of got, I'll open up to actually, you know what, I'm just gonna open up to the board, and then I'll give my opinion. Does anybody else have any other additional input besides Mayor and myself on this particular?
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
The length of time that it will be on the street?
so she will be using, traffic paint, so because of that, there is some limitations to colors, is the conversation we had more, primary. But, so it has like a 5-year durability to it, is the projected, obviously.
I like it. I like the project. It's very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, wow, that's long.
It is long,
Very innovative.
until somebody does a burnout on it.
So it's gonna be like pro Rochester stuff for 5 years on the streets?
Yes, no.
All right, I hope a La Puma's coney dog, a picture of a La Puma's
Yeah,
coney
giant
dog.
hot dog, that'll cost you 20 grand, Tony.
Just a little piece I wanted to slide in. Rhiannon, who we're hopefully working with, was kind enough to offer that if we were able to recruit some ragtag volunteers, our budget was perfect. So she was really able to work with us on the amount that we wanted to spend, especially with the grant. So ideal in that way as well.
Okay, so,
We love that, don't we?
any other? So my thought process is get the designs, get like, 2, 3, whatever, and then I suspect we're gonna need a special session once we get the county stuff anyway, which optimistically might be that same timeframe. I'm back from our travels on June 1st, so anytime thereafter. When's the first council meeting?
10th.
June 10th,
June
all right.
10th.
So we'll do it certainly before that, and then flip that to council. And then it'll probably be you and myself and Christie who would come before council and answer any questions with respect to it. We've made a commitment to this community to up the art, as it were, so this is an important part of that process. So I want to make sure that we stick to what our promises were, and it's essentially free. I mean, I hate to say free, nothing's free in this world, but free. So there'll be questions, the durability and, stuff like that's going to come up. The totally non-sexy part of the whole conversation is going to come up. So just kind of be thinking about that. But let's plan on maybe that first week of June, we'll do a special here or wherever.
Just fun fact for the council presentation, it would be you and Taylor, because I'm on vacation.
Oh, okay, all right.
So sorry.
Well, assuming they let me back in the country, I'll be back. So it'll be me and Taylor. So it'll be fine. We'll tag team. It'll be fine.
yeah.
Sure Taylor can handle it.
I'll be just
I
there
have faith in Taylor.
to click mouses.
Yes.
All right, so let's plan on that. So that first week of June, we'll, I don't know, planning is that Monday, so maybe get with Leanne and look at the calendar and see what works, and then we'll just send that note out.
Okay, I'll try to do that this week before you leave, so we can get it on everybody's calendar.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Does that sound like a plan?
It's a plan.
Awesome. All right, so now, don't go away. I'm sorry, Roger, go ahead.
I just gonna, go ahead and conclude, I just had a follow-up, I just wanted to.
Oh, yeah, no, please, go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna tell you, we have a resource in town, a guy that used to do all the murals in town, a guy named Paradise, lives up on Lysander Street, the second house from the. on the
Mike
left.
Paradise, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a guy, I think he's director of art at Cranbrook or something like that over
Yeah,
there.
he retired, but it used to be.
He's some kind of a title over there. Anyway, he's, might be a guy you wanna contact for further,
Is that the guy that had the,
put that in your,
No, we're
He lives
definitely
right
looking
on
to
the
expand
very
our
beginning
address
of
book of,
Lysander,
people,
Beard.
so.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think that's the dude that had the little Toyota, they call it as a H4. It was like the little, it was, I don't know, it was like a
Yeah, I
Hummer,
know
like
him.
a
He has-
total baby Hummer. I
He
know what
walks
you're
the
talking
dogs with that the
He
queen, the
did
queen
work
has,
for
the
about. Oh dear, yes.
Mike.
Yorkie or Corgis or.
Mike's a good guy.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's in-town resources as well. So
Yeah.
let's just plan on first week of June, we'll do a special meeting for DDA to address this topic specifically, and then if the county, anything comes up in that, we'll just kill two birds with one stone. And then Taylor and I will try not to screw it up while you're gone, so, okay. All right, so don't go away. I wanted to talk a little bit about how this would work with respect to the mural on the back of the Huntington Bank building and what that process might look like. So it's no-brainer, you guys need to handle this through the art committee, right? So I don't know what that looks like. It's not, to Christie's point, this is something that can happen tomorrow. I mean, of course we'll get it. But, it's not like it's got to wait on construction and stuff. It's not going to be in the way of anything. So we can get to it whenever we get to it. So my thought is maybe come up with a process of how we could get artist submissions on that. It can be whomever. In terms of budget, I don't even know.
We've got a few ideas. So Taylor and I have talked about it a little bit, but we were talking about, it could be something that we could ask Love Local Art Committee just at the very beginning, just to come up with a concept. Because we want to put guidelines on it. Are we looking for something that is historic? Are we looking for something that's markety? Or are we going to kind of give like an artist statement of these are the types of things, pick anything, whether it's market, produce, history, whatever,
Okay.
that kind of thing. And then bring that back to the board to be like, okay, do we like, what are we coalescing around that we're asking for? And then exactly that, I think we need to set a budget and then do a general call for artists. We have a deep bench of artists that we work with through Deck Art and Magical Mural and all those things, but then putting it out PR-wise, just like I just did with Magical Mural Tour. It's up live now. It went out on the public relations channels this week,
Yeah.
and we're already getting things from Flint and Ann Arbor and all these places. So I think it'll have a nice, I would think that something like this that's a little bit more permanent than a 4x8 sheet of plywood might get more attention.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. All right, so, so the mayor's comments notwithstanding, that's, the same thing's going to go on there, right?
sure.
So I think what I'd like to do, when we go before council with this project, well, we can also do an update with respect to us getting sort of the nod to put something there. What are you going to put there? So we don't know yet, but what that process looks like. So maybe get some ideas if, you know, from a historical perspective. So let's just start kind of gathering, you know, data points. We're going to decide what we're going to decide as a board, and then we'll flip it.
I think that's a great place
Yeah.
to put that mural.
Yeah.
That'll be 100% better.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
excited.
Big old wall.
Yeah.
We've been staring at it for years. It's just waiting.
Big
It's
white
waiting
wall.
for its moment, yes.
That's
So Tim, maybe get a Love Local Art Committee
Right.
meeting going the
That's
next
not
couple weeks.
It's going to be the Mount Rushmore of Rochester, Mayor Bixson, and, right, so we'll, when we come before council, we'll also give that update and then ask for some, just kind of think about it and shoot ideas to Christie, and then we can incorporate that into it. We'll bring it before, what the plan is, maybe for the, we got a lot of stuff going on.
You know
So
it.
maybe the July DDA meeting?
I think that's fair.
Okay, so the July DDA meeting, we'll come back and we'll sort of have what the plan looks like, how you want to do call for artists, what the initial thought is as to what the theme is. And then the board will consider it, we'll set a budget, and then put council, and then forward it to council for their consideration, just for the exact reason that the mayor brought up. Make sure everybody's aligned. What I don't want to have happen is there's like, it was at Clarkston where they had the one mural put up, and then, but it was great, and then council changed and they hated it. I just wanted to make sure.
Let's do it right the first
Yeah,
time.
I know, right? It's just like, it's inevitable, but I think that if we keep it, you know, to the theme, in sort of, you know, apolitical and not, you know what I mean? It's just, it'll be a lot easier to get done,
I
so.
mean, this stuff looks pretty non-political to me.
Yeah, it's been.
I mean, so it's, you know, it's not an issue, but.
Yeah, no, we just want-
But for,
It's not gonna be
but
the
to
same
check.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, I just,
Disaster check.
we don't want the perception is that nobody said nothing, and then 2 weeks later, there's a bunch of stuff going on 4th Street, and you're like, what the heck happened here?
That would be kind of exciting. No.
That'd be super fun. Just in terms of a cadence of things, I think that putting it on DD in July is a good place, because right now, Magical Mural Tour just opened for artist submissions Monday.
Okay.
And those are due by the end of July, and then we were going to flip to Snowman Stroll in July into early August, then maybe it's after it goes through DDA, and if council wants to take a crack at it too, then mid-August, as soon as we're done with getting Snowman, then we can flip over that. I find when we have multiple artist things out there, artists are like, whoa.
Okay.
Whereas this way we get more that they try for all of them.
Gotcha.
And I notice a lot of mural artists, obviously this is like prime time season, so maybe we're catching them like on the come down in the fall, that might be like a good time to
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
schedule.
right, so the plan is with respect to this, this particular project, we'll get the door number 1, door number 2, door number whatever to review. I'll call a special meeting the first week of June. We'll flip it to council for their 10th for their consideration. Assuming all goes well there, then you guys will be off to the races. Budget-wise, it's 0, so it's not like it's more of just sort of making sure that everybody's on the same page. And then with respect to the building, July will be the plan to come, this is what our plan is.
Right.
And then we'll kind of go from there.
And to clarify, it's a matching grant, so our money is in the art budget that's in there in the capital, so it's yes.
Sorry, yeah.
So it's just, it's a match.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yes, it's in there.
And, you know, we want it
Yes.
to be nice and durable and
Not free.
whatever, so if we have to spend a few shekels to make it so it doesn't, you know, first time
Yeah.
somebody does a burnout on it, then we have to.
Can you imagine? I'm more concerned about salt. Like, we have a really rough winter.
Yeah.
Because the DPW is very thorough in their salting.
It's fine, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, so
Yeah,
it's all for the cause of art, right, Marilyn?
yes.
We have to do what we do.
Is University of Michigan stuff considered political?
To most people.
Polarizing, no.
To you and me, no.
Asking.
To you and me, no.
Just
asking for a
but
friend.
For everybody else on this board, probably so. I know Bob DiTomaso is here, he's got up in arms right now, so. And Tony is a state dad, so. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Betcha.
Thank you.
Okey dokey. All right, any marching forward executive or director update?
Oh, sure. So I put my agenda, my report in there. I know what it is. I looked it up online to make sure I knew what I read. If anyone's interested in attending the main event on June 6th, just give me an email and I'll go ahead and get you registered. That is Main County's annual awards. Also, as a part of that, I found out when I was at the Main Street Conference last year, the new president and CEO of Main Street America, Aaron Barnes, is attending that. And I was informed by John Bry that they need to set up over there, and since she's here for the day, they're dropping her off at our office at 2:00. And so I get to entertain the new president of Main Street America for 3 hours. So I'm going to show her everything.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And 3 hours, that's a lot. Hopefully she likes us. Yeah, so we're kind of excited. That's a great opportunity for us.
That's fantastic.
She's also, I was on a Zoom call with her, with John, and Washington Main Street. They're trying to get the Main Street Next Gen actually moving, and she seems really interested in it. So I can put a little word for that as well. So other than that, yeah, we're just moving along. And then for our June meeting, I'll do the full presentation, sort of data drop of everything from Birmingham, Alabama. It was a really interesting conference, a lot of new themes, a lot of new concepts, and it was fun to be there because everybody walked up to me that follows us on social said, "Oh my God, your project." So literally I spent half the time just talking about our project, which is kind of fun that people from all over the country are paying attention to what we do. So it was nice.
It's cool. Weather notwithstanding.
Yes, yeah, we almost didn't make it back out. We were on the runway to come home. We were cutting through Atlanta, and they closed Atlanta because of tornadoes.
Yeah, it was
Super exciting.
not great. Well, we're glad you made it home safe.
Happy to be here.
Okay, events and marketing?
Anything, Taylor, you want to add since you're never usually here?
Not out of the ordinary. Where farmers market is out and rolling.
Sorry.
Opening day was really great. It was our 25th anniversary, and the crowds were crazy. So that was great to see. People were really coming to support the farmers market. So we're glad to see it and happy to be.
Do you want to mention Gary? I forgot about that.
Yes, high highs, low lows, as always with market seasons. We have a lot of new vendors and new offerings for this season, but we got news late last week that a longtime vendor, Gary Campbell, he's known as the knife sharpening guy, unfortunately passed on Friday evening. He's very beloved in our market community, and people really trust him with knives and all kinds of utensils. So he will definitely be missed, and we'll be sending out communications here shortly just to our market folks. But yeah, so a little bit of a loss as we're starting the season.
He was with our market how many years?
I want to say at least a solid 15 to 20, if not.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
but otherwise a great start. So.
Okay, all right, well, very good, thank you for that. Anything else?
Thanks, Tay.
Oh, sorry.
Just on a happy note, the one new smoothie place, what was it?
It's called Maryland's.
Every time she says Maryland's, I'm like, Maryland's making smoothies now? What the heck?
That was fabulous.
Portfolio
And they were
diversification.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
saying they wanted to be like a permanent fixture there, so.
Yeah, they had a great day. The community really enjoyed them. They're in a lot of different spaces. I guess Eastern Market. They have a little, not little, but a stand at the Detroit Zoo. So they're really all over Metro Detroit. But yeah, they expressed a lot of enjoyment at our market and are going to be not permanent there at the farmers market, but a lot of times throughout the season, and then maybe we're hopeful for a little bit.
Just wait till next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. Anything else? Okay, financial report is in your packet. Biz Dev?
Is that, basically, I'll let you cover that today.
Oh, so we met today, went over a little bit about Main Street and what we were doing there, talking about some of the themes, so we'll get into that next month, and Nick did all of his updates, but other than that, we're just kind of plugging along toward our Business Development Annual Meeting coming in July, and invitations will be going out on that shortly.
Gotcha. All right, thanks for that. Site?
Nothing new in the last month, but I did get a call from Debbie Jones, and she was concerned about the trash cans. She thought there was too many trash cans in town, so I went for a walk. It looks like it looks like someone spread them around. They look good, and the city looks very nice. I gotta say this. I looked at the beds. It looks beautiful, our town right now. top notch.
I know where the trash cans went. So after that conversation, then also at department heads, it kind of intersected with a conversation that we had really the special event barrels that we use, which are just kind of these makeshift things that say DDA on the side, spray painted, that we use for trash barrels for movies and for market and things like that, that those were the ones inhabiting the structures as the trash things, which weren't the best look for town. So we figured, hey, here's a problem and a solution. So we had them pull some of our containers and use them in the decks now. So now we have super bougie trash containers in the decks and less clutter on Main. So
They're spread
win-win for
out nice.
everybody.
It looks nice now.
Yeah,
But our
yeah.
Main Street looks beautiful right now.
Yeah, it does, it
Top-
does.
That Bart does a beautiful job.
He does, yeah.
Fantastic. And then the site, the big project, we're still working on.
We're
so-
still working hard on it.
Yeah, a lot of
right?
stuff going on. So I will continue to provide updates to the board and to council as they materialize. But I think with that, if there's any other questions and miscellaneous, yes, please.
Not another question, but a comment? Is it
Yeah.
okay for me to?
Of course, you can do whatever you want.
May 29th is Ratatouille ribbon cutting.
Oh,
You all are
excellent.
invited at 4 p.m.
Excellent.
At 413 South Main, the backside alleyway
Oh,
entrance.
it'll be fun.
Would
Okay.
you email us that, please?
Yeah, I can.
Very cool. I will unfortunately be out of the country, but I will be there in spirit, so.
No, she's at the back half of Shape
Mr. Mayor.
Travel.
Well, I was just saying, I think I have that on my
I think
schedule.
eventually, once Kathy.
Do the
retires,
ribbon
It's the
cutting?
Yes, you'll be there,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Oh, awesome.
So I had a couple other, just,
No, please go ahead.
this is the third on the council and the planning. The guy who did our TV,
Yeah.
James, passed away.
Oh,
The guy who used to say, you got 10 seconds.
oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He unexpectedly passed
Wow,
away.
he was,
Yeah, he was here for like 15 years, and his mom lives over on Woodward and
Gotcha.
some stuff. So
Wow, that's
he-
surprising.
Yeah, so he passed away.
That's a bummer.
So that was very sad. May 20th, next Monday, State of the City, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be something to talk about the Graham and some pictures, because I think Jeremy contacted Christine
Times that
for
start,
some
6?
different. The doors open at 6. It starts at 7, and you absolutely be out of there by 8.
Mayor runs a tight ship.
Short, less is more sometimes. But no, it should be pretty good. There's a lot of interesting stuff that we'll talk about.
Fantastic.
So you guys are all, of course, all invited.
Super. Awesome.
That's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Sinkowitz.
Yeah, I focused on the festival itself. I just wanted to mention that the great support I get from the fire chief and from the police chief. The fire chief have his teams there Saturday and their demonstrations. We always use this conference room at the fire station for our team meetings. Chief George, he attends some of the meetings there and providing the bicycle policemen for the festival, also helping us with the parking. They provided me with a campfire permit for the Michigan 10th Infantry. Also, the great support from the park people, the DPW, and from the city of Rochester itself. So we really appreciate that, and it's very constructive and very helps the festival be successful.
Here, yeah. We got the best support team in the business, for sure. Anything else?
Yes.
Oh, yes, Roger, sir.
I don't know where to take this, but, it came up, I've thought about this for a long time, but we're behind the Roxy. They went in and put a sidewalk in behind there. I don't know the history or background of that, but they did, and they put some trees along there. And it's kind of sparse with trees, which is probably fine because the hall across the street sometimes uses that parking, or did at one time. But as that goes down the street, the city owns about 10 foot of that land all the way down there, and we have a parking lot there. And I think we have a responsibility somewhere in the city to buffer that and with some kind of shrubs or something for the sidewalk, because the idea was from residential to commercial, there should be a separation so the houses don't deteriorate. And those houses, there's a couple of nice old homes there, but sometimes they, I'm not sure how long with looking over a parking lot and all blacktop. And it just seemed like maybe the city somehow should either put some sidewalk in there and then heavier shrubs. But I don't know whether it's this group or the city or,
Well, it's
City
DDA
Beautiful.
property in there, right? So, no, city? I'm sorry, Nick, you have to
He was
have you
trying not to
freestyle
come
on
up
this one,
tonight.
sorry. Yeah, no, sorry.
So close.
So close.
Almost.
Oddly enough, the second building down from Chicken Shack is selling, the blue building, it's an Ironworks office building, so they're selling, the guy came in today and their parking lot's part of 3 parking lots that you're talking about, Roger, and the one in the middle is the worst, so they have to rip it out, and they wanna know who's gonna pay and share parking, and it's very complicated, 'cause it's grandfathered in, so the city owns the property, it's been on our radar ever since I've been here to put a ribbon in there. We went 3 years ago, right during COVID, and went to the property owners that own those lots, and they said, get a lawyer, because we'll sue you. That's grandfathered, and you can't just take away our parking that's been there for 50 years, so they're not playing very nice. The reason we got the Roxy was because he came in with the plan, and we told him, get all your parking out of the right of way, put it in the sidewalk. The trees are spaced appropriately, so when they fill in. So as each of those properties flips over, we can take our land back, but right now, it'd be a lawsuit for us to do it, but there should be a green belt, you're right, all the way down, there will be someday. Just don't have very nice players right now, including the salon. When opportunities come up, we're jumping on it to make sure we get those pieces, so.
I think we have 10 feet, don't we?
We have about 11 feet, actually.
7 feet.
Yeah, 11, yeah. So, yeah, I'm aware of it.
Okay, to the extent that we can help, or the ideas, of course, you know. But thank you for that, appreciate it. Paul, did you have something?
Nope.
Nope. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? Meeting adjourned.
Enjoyed your band.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Not gonna